Cox and Kings, established in 1758, is clearly an old established brand. It's also a very well recognized and very well known brand. And hopefully by the end of Mark's presentation, you'll fully understand everything they do. You'll also hopefully understand some of the changes they've made with their tours because of obviously recent events. And I think Mark's also going to inspire you with a bit of destination stuff as well, Mark. I hope that's right.
Yes, I am.
That will get you hopefully looking forward for traveling again in the next 12 to 18 months. So, Mark, without further ado, I shall pass over to you.
Thank you so much, Miles, and thank you to the team at Miles Morgan as well. As ever, always very supportive and absolutely love working with you. And I know all your clients enjoy working with you, fulfilling all their dreams. So yeah, I'm going to show you some lovely imageries, and apologies in advance. It might be a bit torturous at the moment because we just can't get there due to current issues. So yeah, apologies. I've got some lovely videos, which is going to bring some of this to life as well. So we're all itching to travel. I certainly am. Other than a camping trip last year, which the storm devastated for me. I've not been anywhere for a while, and that's very unusual for me. So very, very much longing to get away, and I'm sure you all are as well. So yeah, as Miles said, you sit spot on the date there. So the world's longest established travel company. I wasn't around then, but it was dates back to 1758. Miles, you weren't around then either, so I was trying to give you your dues. Richard Cox became a regimental agent for the armed forces, but then he actually merged with Henry S. King and Co. So that forged Cox and Kings as we know it in 1920. The shipping company separated from banking and started to organise some tours and some passage of people, so looking at travel. And we've been pioneers of tourism into India since 1970. We're very synonymous with India and the Indian subcontinent. And then the business obviously grew from there, operating worldwide travel and tours since 1986. So just a bit of background as well for Cox and Kings and the current state of Cox and Kings in a very stable position because it's part of the bigger Abercrombie and Kent family as well, which is also a heritage brand in itself, with Geoffrey Kent being very much a part of the business, which just to explain, Abercrombie and Kent is also a luxury brand synonymous with luxury travel, and Cox and Kings as a brand fits in very nicely with our family. So we've got dedicated teams to support the Miles Morgan team as well. So we've got teams of specialists, regional specialists, to be able to help the teams around the Southwest in the shops, putting together the perfect itineraries, because whilst we offer group tours that are standard itineraries, you can also tailor make your own bespoke package, which the Miles Morgan guys can talk to us and put something perfect together for you. Now, obviously, at the moment, it's very important to have strict health and hygiene guidelines, and very much adhere to all of that. And we're very, very hot on our DMC offices. So with Cox and Kings joining the Yankee family, we have 55 offices worldwide in 32 countries. And that is our own staff, it's our own teams. It's not all around the world at the moment, but there's big plans to ensure that that is the case. So you'll be well looked after, because we're very close to local government, local tourist boards. So if we know that there's anything potentially going to happen in a destination, we're able to get you out safely. And that's how we coped with the recent pandemic as well. So that's kind of really unique, really, in a way, that we have all of our teams worldwide to make sure that you're looked after. And also, it's a bit of an accolade I like to mention is that we were recognized by the Which magazine for being one of the top 20 travel companies that you can trust with your money as well. So we worked really hard to support our agent partners such as Miles Morgan with changes, cancellations, refunds. And whilst we managed to protect around 65 to 70% of our bookings to go next year, or obviously some of these changed 2 or 3 times, which I'm sure some of you might have been faced with, which is awful. We just need to keep moving things, but we're very open to that and help and support the agent Miles Morgan and yourselves as well. So that's something that we're very passionate about, to ensure that everything is flexible. So I'm going to play a little video. This is torturous, by the way, because it does bring to life some amazing images, and it starts getting the taste buds flowing for thinking of one day.
Experience adventure with Cox and Kings. For over 260 years, Cox and Kings have been the experts of choice for discerning travellers. Our small group tours are of the highest quality, designed for the culturally curious, for wildlife lovers, and for solo travellers. Alternatively, for independent travellers and adventurous families, our tailor-made private travel service is the perfect option. And we go beyond just the planning and booking. Our trusted expert guides will take complete care of you on your travels. We're always there when you need us. From the exotic, to the natural, to the cultural, Cox & Kings will take you on a meticulously planned guided adventure. See breathtaking landscapes, majestic wildlife, and timeless traditions travelling in style. Experience expert service, experience quality, experience adventure.
We can but dream at the moment, but let's get some things booked so we can look forward to it, so what do we offer? Small group tours. So I'll come to the group size in just a moment, but we can also offer multi-centre tailor-made holidays for you. We do operate in over 100 countries, so that includes some really off the beaten track destinations. If anyone's interested in the stands, for example, you can tick some of the stands off. There's 5 of them: Uzbekistan, Kyrgyzstan. I won't go on, I've forgotten. Solo traveller tours, art and culture tours, some rail journeys are included within our portfolio, and we can offer small ship cruising. Self-drive itineraries, and for people that like a safari, for example, we can cater for wildlife holidays as well, and also private family adventures. So we've got a lot to offer for you. Just going back to our flexibility and our book with confidence message. So when booking through Miles Morgan, we'll support them with any booking made up to the end of April this year, 2021. And for travel to 30th of November 21, we're offering all your guests the flexibility to change, or you can postpone actually up to 15 days prior to your departure date. And we'll not charge you to do that, and all the Miles Morgan, of course. But should it be that you're not really sure on what you're looking to change date-wise into 2022, for example, then obviously we'll give you 100% credit, which is valid up until the end of December 2022. So I'd say that's definitely market leading. We've looked at that. Many operators out there offering between sort of 30 and 75 days prior to your chosen departure date to be able to change and be flexible. But we really want to get things in the pipeline for you to look forward to and get things booked, and know that your money's safe as well. And as obviously with that backup as well, being heavily on ensuring that you're refunded if need be, then yes, we're leading the way, I'd say, on that. So to give you an example of the group size, 18 is maximum. You don't want too many in your group, do you? But as I say, we can do everything privately, but we do tend to average 14 within our groups, which is a nice size to be able to travel around your chosen destination. We also offer solo traveller tours, and again, the maximum there is 18, but again, average of 14. And it's very prudent of me to say that we have a guaranteed departure on many of our tours, in that we only need between 4 and 6 people for the tour to actually go ahead. So you haven't got that, Miles Morgan have that uncomfortable call to you guys. Unfortunately, the tour didn't get enough numbers and it's not going ahead. So we want to ensure that those holidays and tours that you've chosen do go ahead for you. As for the solo travellers, it could be that your partner doesn't want to travel to Japan or India, for example. So we've put these tours together for you in, again, small groups. There's no single supplement on these, and that doesn't mean that we're going to put you in a single room. You will get a sole occupancy of a double room as well at no extra charge. Now, what's quite different with our tours also is that we have a welcome dinner and also a farewell dinner. And this is great for when you're in a group, that you're able to meet with your fellow travel companions for your duration of your journey, prior to the next day when everyone steps on the transport the next day. So you're able to forge that little friendship with people on the first night. And then, of course, we'll give you a good send-off with a nice farewell dinner as well. One more video for you again. Sorry if it is a bit torturous, as I said, seeing all these lovely images and these destinations coming to life.
It's been one of those things that one day I'll go to India. And you read and you watch films, and, you know, for one reason or another, getting ill or something. So I thought, if I don't do it now, I never will. So why not? And you just, I don't know, just one moment I just thought, well, what am I waiting for?
You only live once. Don't put up barriers to something that you're slightly nervous with. Just jump in and do it. You'll be surprised.
You have to come to India. You just cannot imagine it. There's nothing, there aren't any words that can describe what this place is like. The fact that it's been managed and all you've really got to do is turn up and your hand is held, it's excellent.
It's just felt that everything's been taken care of, so, you know, it's the easiest way to travel, really.
The best part about travelling solo is
you can do as much or as little, or be with the group or be on your own. The guide is very clear about that. As long as he knows where you are, he doesn't mind you doing that.
I reckon I had the best Indian meal I've ever had. It was ridiculously wonderful.
We all have come for the same purpose, to see India and see what India has to offer. You're meeting people that you wouldn't normally meet, and that's interesting. You hear other people's stories.
My father came to India in the late 50s, and he really did fall in love. So it's been a kind of a bucket list item, and walking the old man's footsteps. And I understand why he loved it. And I'm just annoyed I didn't come sooner, and even more annoyed I didn't come with him, because he'd have paid for it. But you can't have everything, can you?
So hopefully that gives you a sense of what our tours are all about, and some lovely comments there, and some lovely scenes and images, and some amazing places. But in terms of our tour categories, we offer superior. So most Cox and Kings tours, they fall into this category, and based on 4 to 5 star accommodation. We have luxury tours, and these tours are usually the 5-star deluxe accommodations throughout, so you look out for those. If you really want to go all 5-star, then it's the luxury ones that will be the best ones for yourself. The standard a bit simpler in emphasis, and the itineraries typically feature 3 to 4 star, but that may be the best accommodation that we can find in a chosen destination. For example, Uzbekistan, it might be the best that we have there. Discovery tours, these type of holidays, is best suited to the hardier traveller. So we want some adventurous people on these, if that's okay. Typically include some quite basic accommodations, possibly longer and rougher road journeys, so you need to be prepared for that one. But we can obviously talk that through with the Miles Morgan staff as to whether a chosen tour would be appropriate for yourselves. This is lovely. This is the Taj Lake Palace. I'm not sure if any of you have been to Udaipur. Certainly a highlight for me. It's absolutely stunning, but that's a good example of one of our luxury properties. Udaipur is surrounded by these beautiful mountains. If you've ever seen James Bond, there's a scene in James Bond that brings Udaipur to life. I'm sure you're all racking your brains as to which one that was now, but that's just an example of the sort of quality accommodation that we use throughout our tours. But with all that in mind, we are actually really good value for money. Not as expensive as you think, because we do literally include all your sightseeing, your excursions, and of course your local taxis. And then as per the itinerary, any entrance fees into the attractions are included as well. Now, we include breakfast every day. We don't feel the need to cart you off to a restaurant altogether every night, or for lunch. We want to give you a bit of flexibility to find your own cuisine for the evening. This goes for obviously anywhere that you visit. But our guides will be on hand to sort of help with chosen restaurants. But we do include some meals. Like I said, we have the welcome meal and we have the farewell dinner. And then depending on the itinerary, there'll be some dinners included throughout your journey as well. So, excuse me. And in whilst I'm talking about the group tours, obviously, just to reiterate, you can do any of the tours that we have on a private basis, but there is still some flexibility within the group tours themselves. Of course, regional flights, so down in the southwest, obviously Bristol and Exeter, if we've got some flight routes from there, we can certainly help with that. Any cabin upgrades, so for those of you who like to turn left on the plane, I'd love to get on a plane, whether it's left or right. Cabin upgrades, premium, business, or even first class, we can help with those. Of course, any alternative international flights, any pre or post tour extensions. So I'll give you an example. If you're doing a tour of Sicily, it's a week's tour and you want to stay there for another week just to relax on the beach, that's a good example of a post tour or pre-tour that we can do in terms of extensions. Of course, we have the group and private tour combination. So what that means is you could pick a tour of Southeast Asia, for example, Vietnam, and then either combine that with another group tour that might be going a few days after, or just put in a bespoke tailor-made itinerary on the end or pre that fits in with one of our group tours. Now, land tours are land only, I should say, means that we'll remove the flight element of the package and let Miles Morgan do all the flights around. Maybe an example for you, you want to go to Australia, visit some relatives, or you want to go to Australia for a holiday and you want to stop in Southeast Asia en route and do a tour. That's where obviously us offering a land tour only that fits in within your itinerary would come to fruition and benefit for you as well. So we only use expert tour managers. We don't tour from the UK. We always like to use local people, so we know that we've got the best possible knowledge, which is again folding into what I keep reiterating, is having your own offices worldwide as well is very helpful to ensure we've got the right people and the right staff on hand to be able to show you around your chosen destination and bring it to life. And of course, we have the 24-hour emergency support and all the ground handling around that as well. So our key destinations, or our key tours, I should say, massive on India. I've already mentioned that. It's a bit India centric, but I've got some other destinations to mention as well. The Golden Triangle in Shimla, Sri Lanka and the Enchanted Islands is our second most popular tour. We're very big in Latin America with Peru, with train to Machu Picchu. Russia was proving very popular as well, so I'm sure that's on your list. We've got a twin centre, St. Petersburg, Moscow itinerary that I'm going to mention. Now, Middle East, in terms of trends, Middle East, Egypt and Jordan, in terms of our inquiry levels at the moment, has really increased, certainly for the latter part of 2021, going into 2022. So just on that as well, where if you're thinking of destinations, us in the travel industry, and I'm sure that Miles and the team are all remaining positive as well. I know, in fact, they are, is that when things do start opening up, and there's going to be a mad dash, because the pent-up desire to get things booked is huge. So we really do see things really exploding in terms of getting things booked. So it could be a mad dash, and I know the team at Miles Morgan, you're all ready for your calls to get things booked and in the pipeline for you. So let's just fingers crossed everything does open up. Africa actually was one of our biggest inquired destinations beginning of January. I think Greg Wallace might have had something to do with that. He did a very, very good TV program about that, sort of food based. So there was an influx of inquiries for that, but of course, obviously recently been put on the red list, has put an end to that for the time being. But again, let's remain positive. Japan is actually one of my favorite destinations of all time. So if you want cherry blossoms for 2022, then I do suggest you start looking at that now, because we're getting a lot of inquiries, and a lot of tour operators are saying the same, that that's certainly on trend. Or even Japan in the autumn, I highly recommend as well. So sort of mid-October onwards would be a great time to go to Japan. Absolutely stunning culture and destination and sites. And then coming back to Europe, we started to look at some more interesting tours around Europe. Classic Sicily has always been our best selling tour, which I'll come to a bit more detail in just a moment. But excuse me, just going back to India, this is the example of what you'd expect on a Golden Triangle in Shimla. Great lead-in price. I've put both on there for you, just to give you an idea. If you are looking to do a group, you're looking at 2295, or private tours 2695. So there's not an awful lot of difference if you want your own space and just be on your own. We use British Airways. We can look at regional flights. So this is visiting, of course, Delhi, Agra, Jaipur, and Shimla, which includes the narrow gauge railway rail train up to the colonial villages as well. And then we have some optional ghost town tours and balloon rides. Again, as many of our tours offer some optional extras during the tour, just to make a bit more flexibility for you. So again, bring some lovely images to life. I'm sure some of you on this meeting have been to some of these areas. I absolutely love Jama Masjid Mosque. It was a real eye-opener for me. That square is absolutely huge, and so many people running around and going about their business, and really love that day out actually. But of course, many people would want to go to India to see the amazing Taj Mahal. So we'll try to go at less busy times. You can try and get that Instagrammable picture or image for your family and friends to see as well. So. And of course, Jaipur, the Amma Fort. So lots of beautiful imagery for you. Palace of the Winds is interesting. You have to sort of sit back to see that. Absolutely amazing architecture. Sri Lanka, a very big seller for us. 14 days, 12 nights. You can see the leading prices there for you. So you're looking at 1645, or again on a private tour we can help with. Now, obviously, the highlight here, I'm sure, would be the Yala National Park, but we do visit Nuwara, Elia, Angala, Dambula, and Bentota, and of course, Kandy as well. So there's a few images for you just to sort of bring that to life a little for you. So can't bring all these tours to you because we've got far too many. So these are just a bit of a showcase of some of our most popular ones. As I said, Jordan's very popular. There's your lead in 7 nights. And again, if you want a pre or post extension, we can certainly help with that. A visit to the classical city of Shiraz, the biblical site of Mount Nebo, Petra, of course, which is obviously on your screens there, and the shifting sands of the Wadi Rum. My other half went there recently, not recently, a couple of years ago actually. I wasn't with her, she works in travel, so she went on a nice trip, and very jealous, so I need to go there and see that as well. I have done the Dead Sea Mine, that's an interesting, but I did that from Eilat. So classic Russia, so a great lead-in price there. This one basically does Moscow and St. Petersburg as a kind of introduction to Russia. And as I mentioned, we can help with the securing the visa. So we'll work with Miles Morgan on that, how that works. So speak to the teams there. And then of course, Sicily. So we are looking at more European tours because we're going to see, we do see that the trend will be UK staycations, they're calling it now, and also European. So whilst I'd love for all of you to start booking worldwide, there will be some opportunities for that, but we can see in the industry that Europe's going to be very prevalent on people's minds. So that's just an idea of what we can offer in Sicily. Of course, train to Machu Picchu. So this is a huge popular one for us. We've got 2 group tours. So you're looking at a Superior from 3,000, and our luxury version of that is another £400 on top. But perfect comprehensive itinerary. So we're obviously doing Lima, Colca Canyon, Lake Titicaca, Cusco, of course, Sacred Valley, and Machu Picchu. And this does include 2 train journeys: Belmont Andean Explorer sleeper train, Vista Dome train to Machu Picchu. And you can upgrade, that's where the luxury comes in, you can upgrade to Belmont properties on that one. Now, something new for you. So we are looking at what is maybe of interest to you. I'm sure some of you don't want to be traveling around too much or in a group. That's absolutely fine. Whilst we've got that to offer, we would encourage you to do so when everything opens up. We've now launched what we call Spotlight Tours. So this is all about single centre journeys. Basically staying in one hotel for the duration of your trip, because there's so many areas like Malta and the Azores, in Italy, Slovenia even, where there's plenty for you to see and get involved with. But also it's more of a relaxed pace to your journey. So there'll be days off within your itinerary. So it's still a group. Again, we can do this on a private basis. We've got Portugal, the Azores, Spain, Malta and Gozo, Slovenia, Greece, and we have Italy. So the next slides show you the sort of lead-ins on that. So you've got your spotlight on Malta. So these are really keenly priced for you. Now, actually, it's prudent of me to mention that I'm working on a low deposit, which I'll speak to Miles and the team about. So I'll come back to you on that. There'll be an email coming out afterwards, so I may include that. So we're just working on that because I know that's something that's very attractive at the moment for you to get things booked in the diary. So I will come back to you on those. So we've got the Spotlight tours, the 7 of them in total. So to give you an idea here, so Slovenia, for example, Lake Bled, absolutely loved my visit to Lake Bled, absolutely beautiful country. It's not as busy as some of the other destinations around Europe. You still get your direct flights. Now, I'll just give you an idea actually what one of these spotlight tours looks like. So you've got a walking tour on day 2, for example, Ljubljana, including the river cruise and the castle. You visit Lake Bled, Bohinj, including cable car and boat rides. But then day 4, you've got a free day, but then you can talk to the guide to be able to find something of interest to you in the area as well. We'll try and add some experiences and something a bit more quirky. We've got beekeeping tour across the rooftops of Ljubljana, and then your afternoon's free. So I just wanted to sort of bring to life what a spotlight tour is all about, because as you can see, you've got some inclusions, you've got gourmet farewell dinner as well. But really it is about enjoying your holiday and your time and being restful as well if you want to. So again, we're using very good top class hotels, your 4-star Superior Hotel there, just to give you an idea of what that looks like. I don't remember the last time I was in a hotel room, but we can all wait. Another one is the Basque country, just to give you an idea of what that one is. So you've got your direct flights to Bilbao, easy access to lots of sites and interest around the Bilbao region as well. Great for art and culture actually in that area. And then of course you combine this with a city break as well, pre or post. So Madrid would be a good example there for you as well. So again, just to give you an idea of what an itinerary would look like on a spotlight tour. So half day tour, so again, you've got the rest of the day to yourselves. So hopefully these are appealing. But with that aside, if you've got a destination in mind, work with the guys at Miles Morgan and work with who will work with us in turn and put something bespoke together for you. So we can certainly work through that for you as well. So I think I've rattled on for probably a little bit long. Oh no, I'm pretty spot on, Miles. But yeah, I've come to the end of what I wanted to show you today. But obviously that's just an introduction to Cox and Kings. But from a support basis, we absolutely love working with Miles and the team at Miles Morgan. We've got an exclusive with them, which we've now got. We've extended our offer, and it's only exclusively to Miles Morgan Travel until the 28th of February. So I didn't put the date on there, but you've got savings of up to £400 per couple, which the marketing team at Miles Morgan will send out to you following this this meeting. Just to give you an idea, there's a number of itinerary examples that we're offering discounts on, and then of course refer to your Travel Talk magazine. We've got 4 tours in there that are actually on sale with the discount until the end of March. So ensure that you get a copy of the Travel Talk magazine. So Miles, apologies, I hope you don't mind me putting your image on there. That's you.
I think I was aged about 12 when you took that picture, Mark. It was certainly before COVID struck. There's no doubt about that. Mark, we've got a question.
Yeah.
Machu Picchu. Do you do walking and hiking tours for Machu Picchu?
Yes, we do. We can facilitate that, obviously on a private basis, but not a tour. Sorry, no, there isn't a group tour that includes that. But we can do the Sacred Valley on a private basis, so you have your own guide. But we can certainly help with that.
You could organise it. That's great. Okay.
I'll tell you what's interesting as well, where we've had the combination of the 2 brands. Where you might have a request through C&K, we might not be able to facilitate all of it. We obviously now have the A&K, Abercrombie and Kemp product as well to fold into. So yeah, things are very promising for us that we can facilitate most inquiries now with such a global network.
In terms of group tours, so the majority of people could do most of these trips themselves on a self-drive basis. Yeah. Why would they do one of your tours as opposed to just getting themselves a car and doing it at their own leisure?
Well, I get that, but people want sort of independence. But then if you're booking hotels along the way, you've got no protection there for a start. So doing it as part of a package, I mean, we can do that for you with a self-drive tour as such. We'll obviously make sure all of the hotels are booked, but you've got your ground handling on hand at all times as well. So there's a lot of horror stories, with people trying to do it themselves online, or I'll book my hotel here, and you could turn up a hotel somewhere and then not have a room. But obviously if you book for a reputable tour operator and an agency through like yourselves, Miles, obviously you've got everything taken care of in terms of security. And also if you're booking through us and something happens that you can't travel, Obviously, all of those forthcoming arrangements in the various hotels, we'll sort that out for you. If you're doing it yourself, there may be issues where you're not going to be able to get a refund. Certainly in current times, I really wouldn't recommend doing that type of itinerary yourself. So.
Okay, and then the spotlight tours, the new ones you're doing.
Yeah.
Just to clarify exactly what the difference is, if you like. So if I've got this right, on a normal tour with Cox and Kings, people move from centre to centre, generally on a coach. Yep. What you're doing with the spotlight ones is there is no move from place to place. So it's all the benefits of seeing all the best sites, fully guided.
Correct.
You don't have the coach element. Have I got that about right?
You have got that right, yes. And you're in one hotel for the duration. So you're not in a hotel for 2 nights, having to pack and going off to another hotel for 1, 2 or 3 nights. It's very much all about the region that you've chosen there. So the Slovenia tour, as I say, I was trying to sort of bring that to life into what an itinerary would look like. But you're literally, you arrive at your, tends to be a four-star boutique style hotel, and that's your home for the duration of your chosen tour. And then you're going off on tours around that area in smaller vehicles generally. So it's not necessarily what I've always had over the years is if people think of a tour, they have this image of a coach, a huge coach with loads of people on it, and really isn't what we're all about. You know, where we can, we try to use smaller vehicles and potentially private journeys and transport around the area that you've chosen on your tour. So yeah, it's certainly a good option, certainly at the moment with not traveling around as much and yeah, with current lockdowns and stuff. So
I think, and you know, if I'm speaking out of turn, tell me I'm speaking out of turn here, Mark. But I think if people are watching your presentation and thinking about a trip to some of the most amazing places you've got, India, Machu Picchu, our advice, and I'm looking to you to agree or disagree with me on this, in terms of what people should book for, would you agree that it wouldn't be sensible to book any of those destinations with a departure date before maybe the autumn of this year?
I completely agree. Yes. Just be honest, Miles, you know, there's no point at the moment in pushing anything through for sort of spring onwards, but yeah, autumn onwards is where we're taking the most bookings. So October, November, for example, is from there onwards we are taking a lot more interest and a lot more bookings for that. And then early into 2022, I don't want to use that term, it's been used a lot, revenge tourism. People are trying to get things booked as soon as possible to get out there, revenge to COVID tourism. But no, let's be honest, autumn onwards, let's look, at the end of the day, there may be some areas of Europe that are going to open up in the summer, but obviously that will be it's still under review. It's been such a tough thing to call, as you know, Miles, in that we're just not sure what's going on and what's happening, what could change. Obviously, you've got these isolation hotels that come in, you've got the red zone. So your staff and our staff will certainly be on point to ensure that we're giving the best advice for people that are looking to book a destination. I mean, there will be if someone really wants to book for summer and they're confident that a destination like Greece, for example, is lots of talk on Greece opening, we can help with Greece, start booking Greece. But we'll obviously have a review and a discussion as to get the most up-to-date information on whether that's actually going to happen. But with that aside, we do have the book with confidence messages, so we're able to change things over if need be as well. Whilst it's disappointing to do that for yourselves, your clients, it's getting things booked up is not too bad. But yeah, going back to, definitely agree with your analysis there, autumn onwards.
Yeah, I think, you know, generally for most people wouldn't probably be booking for this summer to those kind of bucket list kind of destinations anyway. And also for me personally, I always think the expectation of the holiday is one of the enjoyable elements of it. And so having something in the diary for next year, you know, through these challenging times certainly gives you something to look forward to, which is always a good thing, I think.
Absolutely, and it's great for your certainly for mental health as well, knowing you've got something to look forward to. I'm looking to get something in the bag soon, so I can start looking forward to it, potentially the latter part of the year, even if it's a Christmas market. I just want to get something in there, and potentially a tour early next year of one of our destinations as well. So no, I know a lot of people are eager to book. I know you want to go somewhere as well, and all your teams do, and of course all of your customers online as well. But yeah, we just have to be positive is all I can say there.
Yeah, I think everybody's optimistic in the mid to long term. I think the short term, how's it going to play out? You know, I personally have got a booking for Rhodes for the beginning of June, and I'm mildly optimistic is how I describe myself for travel at the beginning of June. But you know, there's a lot of water to go under the bridge, as we all know. We've got Boris again at 5 o'clock this afternoon. He could say something that changes it all. But I think probably the most reassuring thing for anybody booking anything, you know, Cox and Kings or other products, is the fact that these days moving it without any fees is perfectly possible. And very often, if it gets stopped by the government, you will find you get an enhanced offer to move it, so even better value. So, you know, nobody should be worried or think their money's at risk or they're presenting any risk by booking anything at the moment. That's an important message, I think.
Absolutely, and I know you run your business being prudent on which suppliers that you use. So it's certainly those that will be flexible in moving things without quibble. And of course, if it does come to the worst possible scenario, has to be cancelled. Obviously, using suppliers that are able to refund within an adequate time, not waiting months and months and months. So that's also just to give a bit of confidence there that you're only using suppliers that will look after your monies as well. But ultimately, what we all want is the holiday, so we're there obviously to help and move it over to a new said date. So
brilliant. Well, if there's no further questions, I'd particularly like to thank Mark today, because he was doing this presentation with a colleague whose technical challenges meant that he couldn't do it. So he's manfully fought on and managed to do the whole thing for us. So Mark, we really do appreciate that. Thank you very much.
No problem.
Thank you everybody for joining. If you have further questions about Cox and Kings or Abercrombie and Kent, then obviously do contact the shops. They're open every day right through from 9 until 10 in the evening. So you can contact them tonight until 10. So thanks for joining everybody, and maybe see some of you next week. And let's hope for good news from Boris at 5 o'clock. Thanks very much, everyone.